Okay, hello guys. My name is Marco, and I'm the chief scientist of Artificialy. Okay, what is Artificialy? Artificialy is a company we founded that in 2020, more or less like some other guy said, just 1 week before the lockdown. Well, it was okay, more or less. Okay, so who are we? So, we essentially come from ITSA, Dalle Molle Institute for AI, in Lugano, that has been founded in '88 to do basic research in AI. Luca was the first employee of ITSA, and then became director for 25 years. And I'm still there, actually. I'm scientific director together. I guess you know Jürgen Schmid-Huber, and now he's going to Saudi Arabia to work. And then we have Andrea Buzzi, who is our new CEO. Okay, so, well, this is more or less our path. We started, as I said, in 2020. Then, actually, we became break-even quite soon in 2021. And then we are 30 people. And we are establishing a partnership with Adesso, which is a big software company. We are about, as I said, 30 people coming from several institutions. We have just hired 7 people recently, so we don't have open positions. No, actually 1 we have for a deep learning guy. We are working with a number of clients, and I hope I can show to you a few of our applications. In particular, we have 2 solution frameworks. They are not really products, because they are not really packaged already fully entirely, but they work. We can already plug that and play, let's say, for make them work. One is a private GPT. A private GPT, is based essentially on an open source model that we can switch at this point with whichever model that is appearing in the news. And then we have made all, the pipeline, the fine tuning, instruct, and this and that. So in the end, you can really use it as an actual model on a local server without internet. So, this is really private in the sense that you install it even in your Mac M3 if you want. And we are selling this. And then the other product that we are selling is differential privacy, that I guess you might know is just to anonymize data, which is compliant with GDPR. Differential privacy means that essentially you privatize your data by adding noise to the data in a clever way in order not to disrupt your data too much, but still to have the data becoming private in the sense that you cannot go back to the single individuals in the data set. And we have our own product, which means that you just, it's not so easy to do differential privacy. You need to have some kind of DP expert, but in our case, not really in the sense that we have made everything automatic. You just, give us your data, your structured data, and we produce automatically a private set of data on top of which you can do everything you want. So you are not limited in any number of queries. You can do machine learning and so on and so. So it's really automatic, like input and output. Other things that we are doing, well, we are working a lot with companies. So, we have been working, for instance, in computer vision with Sony for smart cities. And this thing that you see we have produced, this is not really original if you think of it as software run on a server. But in this case, we're running it on the Sony camera, on the chip of the Sony camera, just on the edge. And this, of course, requires some competence in order to squeeze the neural network into such a small chip. And similar techniques, this is Sylvia, our marketing head, that is just driving a car, and we have created a software, a neural network essentially, and just attach it to a small camera and hardware, and locally checking whether a certain guy is distracted, sleeping, and this and that. And it is under certification at the moment with a company that sells this stuff to companies producing buses and trucks. Okay, we have been doing churn prevention, of course, working with local search for a number of years. We are also, okay, so with the Italian company, we are doing optimal price calculation. This means that, this is a logistic company. Their customers are just calling them in order to price some routes, just to transport some goods. And we are giving suggestions about the optimal price to do, because otherwise it is just a rule of thumb every time to decide which price you do for a certain customer. We're working with a number of banks. This is a bank in Ticino. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name. Athos, no, I cannot. Okay, but with this, we are, I've also been working a lot with UBS on the institute But in this case, we are working with a smaller bank in Ticino, and we are doing a credit renewal, so trying to find out which is the best way to renew credits of customers that are just ending up their credit or risk prediction, of course. And this is another cool project with a company that does big chemical plants. So these chemical plants are really very big. And they have to, to draw these pipes from beginning to end, and they have like 4,000 pipes for plant. And every time they draw one of them, in paper, it takes like 20 minutes, and it takes a lot of time to produce all the drawings for this. And now we are optimizing this and doing that all automatically. So basically, in a few minutes, we have software that draw all the pipes, the 4,000 pipes all together, minimizing the effort, following their rules, avoiding that they cross in a very strange way, and so on and so forth. And this is actually running in production. We are working with Bystronic. Bystronic is a very big company in Bern, and they do laser cutting machines. And they sell these machines worldwide, and these machines are very complicated, and therefore if you sell them, for instance, to Asia or so, there are no experts there that are capable of creating a recipe to do a certain cut, because the metals are always different, the alloys, and then the thickness and the type of cut, and so on and so forth. So in this case, we use Bayesian optimization. We do Gaussian processes in order to learn the function to optimize, and then also optimize the function while we learn it. And therefore, we do a few attempts, like 4 or 5 cuts, and the operator just ranks the pieces that come out of the machine just from good to bad, or just saying that one is better than all the others. And then we give this feedback to the Gaussian process that updates the prior into the posterior, finds new points in the configuration space, do 5 more cuts, and so on and so forth. And usually in 20, 25 cuts, we get to a point that it is essentially equal to the expert in terms of quality. And therefore, when you go to Asia or so, you can give the software to these people that don't know how to use the machine, but still they can create the recipe to optimize the cuts. Okay, we work with another big company in St. Gallen for doing intelligent OCR. OCR, is an old thing, but if you have to do it very well, there are not really so many softwares around, in particular when you need to decode tables. But now there are transformers also for tables, and then you can learn tables from PDFs in a relatively easy way. And well, of course, we have to work on top of that, but this is our main work at the moment. We have been doing also message dispatching for the canton of Ticino. This is another system that is in place, and it is for their ticketing systems, essentially. And it allows now to correctly create the ticket form and send it to the right office with an accuracy which is quite high now, like 94-something%, and is again in production in Canton Ticino. So, we are doing other things. We are happy to meet you if you are interested, and in room, I think 3A, we have a track session this afternoon at 2 about overcoming data scarcity. That's it.
Thank you, Marco. So it's time for questions now. Do you have any questions for Marco? Okay. Yeah.
So I'm pretty much sure that the sleepiness detection system you showed us is an acceptable risk according to the UAI Act. So I'm wondering how you make it sure that it's not.
You're saying about, sorry, I didn't get it, about differential privacy or what? Or about the risk assessment for the bank?
No. I mean the sleepiness detection system for the parcels.
Okay. Yeah, well, it has to be certified. So there are certification authorities that just check that they are compliant. So you go there, for instance, we are going to Spain just with the truck and the guys and everybody and the inspectors in order to check that everything is in place according to the European regulations. So you just have to go through all the certification process.
Then okay, but there is no certification body yet for the UAI Act. So what are they certificating against?
Well, it's because when you send when you put it into the bus and into the any public vehicle or private vehicle, you need to certify it. Otherwise, it is not. You cannot sell it. then it is not certified against the the EU Act, but okay, it's very early, right? It has just been released, the EI Act, so it will take a while. But we don't keep any data in any case. It's just totally local, so we don't keep data. We just give alarms. You know, it's a online computation. We don't store the data.
If you want to discuss further, Artificialy is available upstairs for the rest of the day. Thank you very much, Marco.
Yeah.